What's cracking, everybody? Rose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. It is currently 12:40 in the morning, and I did not learn my lesson from last week, so I'm going to try and stay awake while I do this battle video for everybody here. Now, we've got an amazing team here in this video. Going to feature Alolan, Shadow Alolan Marowak on the lead, running that typical Fire Spin Shadow Bone Club moveset. The GOAT is here, and it is raking in this meta. It is so good. Myself and my patrons have all gained so many points with this team. Zweilous, you wouldn't think that but it does counter Azumarill. It does. It doesn't really if it doesn't have shields, but the thing is a monster in this meta. And Drapion is literally the best safe swap lead. It's the best Pokemon in the whole cup, hands down. Like, there's nothing else in this meta that comes close to Drapion as far as what's, able to just take advantages and just go nuts. So, team functions sort of ABB-ish. Just try to, win leads, or if you don't win leads, try to use Drapion to try to win switch or get some sort of an advantage. Shadow Alolan Marowak is an absolute monster, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about in this battle. So let's get into it. Real quick shout out to my patron supporters. Thank you all so much for supporting me and my family and this channel. And in the lead here, we've got a Skuntank, which is, not a great thing. But my opponent makes the mistake of bringing in a Sableye safe swap, and I'm going to mow it down with Zweilous. You all have seen the shiny Zweilous on the channel before. Played it a few weeks ago in the Great League at the end of the last season, and this thing, it just deletes the darks. Now, my opponent is smart. They do bait with the foul play. Now, if you are stuck in this situation, it is definitely smart of you to try to bait the Zweilous, because basically you cannot get to 2 returns, but you can get to a foul play plus a return if you do it right. So definitely going to be I'm not able to take it out, and unfortunately the fast move inconsistency bites me in the butt here. I could have got a Dragon Breath off. I decided to shield to maintain switch advantage here, but unfortunately that is going to force me down to 0 shields against a Skuntank, which has Crunch, which could delete my Marowak in an instant, and my Drapion isn't really a super solid answer. So I'm going to be throwing a Body Slam here before they would normally get to a Crunch, but I'm going to let them eat a Body Slam. I have to. And they shield it, which is really nice for me, because now if I can just land Bone Club against them, I'm great. So I'm coming in with Drapion here to absorb the energy, because I know that they have to basically hit me with a Flamethrower, which all of their energy is just about at this point, or they hit me with a Crunch. So I'm going to let them keep going, and I'm going to try and get them with a Crunch, but they do CMP me right as I get to the move, which is really unfortunate here. But do we hold on? Oh, yes, we do not. Nope, we go right down, and Marowak's going to come in, but Marowak here is going to be able to almost farm down, and now the opponent comes in with a Jellicent. Unfortunately, they came in when I had a ton of energy. This isn't going to go well for them at all. Not one bit. There it was. It was late. Come on, I had to load up the button. Leave me alone, man. The Kaboom button goes off. We almost one-shot the Jellicent, and that is going to be a good game, because the opponent's Skuntank is not getting to a move before I'm able to take it out. That's very well played to them, though. Very close game. We got the next game up against a legend of the season already. There's legends in this ELO range, and they hit me with a Dusclops, which is kind of spicy for this meta, but if you did use it during the Halloween Cup, you might as well use it now. So I'm going to come in with my Drapion here. My opponent is not swapping out, but they catch at the perfect moment. When I thought it was safe to throw the Crunch, they swap out like a champion. So I'm going to hit him with a resisted Crunch, and now at this point, my Drapion's ahead on energy, ahead on damage. I'm going to be able to take this thing out and win switch advantage now quite easily. But the problem is that I do have to be aware that since this is not a return Dusclops, they have Shadow Punch and they have Ice Punch. So they have play with all the energy that they've got against both members of my team. So I have to manage this very carefully here. And it's going to be very difficult unless I can conserve my shields here. Now, my opponent drops a shield here in order to try and take out my Drapion. Now, I let this go because I know I can comfortably take a Crunch at this range, and I do. So that's going to be able to, even though I got a defense debuff, I'm going to get to this Crunch, and I win CMP. My Drapion's IVs are kind of bad. It's very defensively weighted, and nothing else. So it wins CMP against things like the rank 1, so I'm going to be able to take out the Drapion and maintain switch advantage, but they're going to come in with a Toxapex, and they're going to be able to farm me down before I get to the Crunch, which is really unfortunate. They're down to shield. I'm going to come up with my Marowak, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to try to maybe land a Bone Club. I don't think a Brine will KO, so I let it go here, hoping to save 2 shields for Zweilous to take this game for me. But the Brine does respectable damage, and then the opponent comes in with their Dusclops, and I'm now forced to shield because they're going to throw a Shadow Punch. I know it. It's not purified, so I have to be careful. Now I'm going to go straight for Shadow Bone here to try and get their last shield or do huge damage to them. So here comes the Shadow Bone into the Dusclops, and that is going to do a ton of damage. And now I'm going to swap into my Zweilous, and this is an Ice Punch. I probably shouldn't have shielded it, but I think that the super effective damage from the Ice Punch was a little bit more unfortunate than taking a Sludge Wave from Toxapex. So I start farming up energy here against the Toxapex, trying to throw right before they get to a move. I throw the Dark Pulse here, thinking there's a good chance I get to 2, but unfortunately for me, they shield it, and I'm not going to be able to get to a second one, as I find out here quite shortly. So unfortunately, this is going to look like a loss here. I remember this game pretty clearly here. The Sludge Wave does do a lot of damage. I was hoping that it would do a little bit less, and I tragically am not able to get to the Dark Pulse before they take me out, so I have to go for this Body Slam, which is absolutely not going to be enough damage. Maybe it could have been enough damage if I had been able to get to the Dark Pulse plus a Bone Club, but unfortunately, not going to happen in this game. Toxapex is going to show off against me and take me out. That's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. Played very well. I hate Toxapex, though. It's annoying. I actually took a team that went Toxapex hunting. It didn't do as well as I hoped it would, so I'm not going to feature it on the channel, because I didn't do too well with it. But every time I saw a Toxapex player, they quit, so that was worth it to me. So we're picking up a lead against a Tentacruel here, which is kind of okay, as long as they don't hit me with a Scald. Opponent shields, which is kind of nice. Now they're going to hit me here. Now I'm assuming this is going to be a Scald, right? Why wouldn't you hit this? Why wouldn't you throw me with a Scald, right? So they're going to throw the Acid Spray instead. So I'm going to go for this Bone Club here. I'm going to try and do a lot of damage or get on the shield. And I'm going to switch out. My defense is debuffed and I don't need to deal with this. I'm just going to clear the debuff, get out of here, go into Drapion, safe switch, try and get some sort of an advantage going. And they come in with a Shadow Scizor. I love Shadow Scizor in this meta. So much fun. So good. Such a good core breaker. But a Crunch almost one-shots it. However, because of its steel typing, it can absolutely hang on and continue to hit me for a lot of damage afterwards. And at this point, I think I'm just going to let this go. Get the farm on AWAC. It's an Iron Head. Takes out and claps the face off of my Drapion. But one Fire Spin from my Marowak should be more than plenty to handle this thing. And I'm going to be able to take it out. Just one. Just one Fire Spin. I would have liked to know how much damage it actually did. I did like a third of its health. That thing is so frail. But the opponent is going to come back in now with their Tentacruel, and they have a move loaded, and I'm just like, there's no way this is the Scald at this point. No way. So they just the Scald, correctly shield that up, and then I'm going to go for another Bone Club here. I'm going to do it, make sure I'm throwing after 3 for good timing, make sure that they can't sneak in any extra moves here. And the Bone Club is going to get a shield for my opponent, and I imagine, okay, maybe they're weak in the back, maybe they've got another Bug Steel, and I make a tragic mistake and I try to catch a move and go, and they have an Acid Spray, and I don't know why they didn't throw the Scald, because I'm pretty sure they're the same amount of energy, but in doing that, they have now allowed me to win this game, because this is a Zweilous versus a Wormadam Trash, and the confusions are double resisted, and while the Bug Buzz will absolutely destroy my whole face, and yes, I've got the button ready this time, it's going to be painful, but doesn't matter, because AWAC's going to farm down, get a Bone Club off, and that's it. Takes out my poor Zweilous. But look at those flames, those fire spins, man. It just hurts so much. Going straight for, well, I would have gone straight for it anyway, but they knew what happened. I think they may have misclicked. Maybe they fat-fingered it by accident. I've done it before, too. It happens. Toxicroak in the lead. Great lead for me. Want to stay in here unless they swap out. I expected them to. But they must be ABA weak to Marowak, because they go straight for Bud Bomb and they're staying in, essentially sacking their Toxicroak. So I'm going to shield this up. Mud Bomb wouldn't KO me, but it would do a lot of damage that I imagine that they've probably ABA weak to Marowak, so I want to keep it healthy to deal with whatever's in the back, because it's going to be useful later. So one more Fire Spin, but the opponent comes in with a Drapion, and I'm going to be able to hit them with this Bone Club, which they should shield this at this point. And then my Drapion can come in here, or I can go for this Catch. Now, why did I go for the Catch here? Because I knew that when I threw that first Fire Spin against them, they got 2 Poison Stings in, so I knew that 3 more was going to be what they needed to get to a Crunch, and I figured they were going to go for it, so I just swap in his Zweilous and catch the Crunch. Now this I expect could be a Sludge Bomb, and if it is, that's going to suck. So I'm going to shield it up. It's just a Crunch. And at this point, I think my opponent might be running Aqua Tail, but I'm going to be able to farm him down with the power of Zweilous before they can even get to it. Amazing. Zweilous is so strong, and the opponent was indeed ABA weak to my Marowak. They come in with a Frost Blast. I'm going to bait with Body Slam. I'm going to be able to get a Dark Pulse off either way, and either way I know I'm going to get the shield. So, going to get the shield, and then going to go for the Dark Pulse, and that is going to hurt a lot. One shot's Frost Blast, and in comes Toxicroak to get clapped by Zweilous. Zweilous is so good. Every time I run a team with a Alolan Marowak, I feel like my elo just shoots up. Like, this thing is so good. It feels like the Mon made for me. I know Zionic gets his goat and everything, but I'm telling you, man, this thing is just, every time I use it, everything goes right. So, they come in with a Crustle, and I'm really not sure what to do here because my whole team is kind of weak to Crustle, which is why Crustle's in the meta. And this is why the person picked it, because a lot of teams are weak to it. So, I'm essentially going to have to soft lose here and try and get some farm somewhere. I can't come in with Zweilous because basically I have to shield X Scissors, and that feels really bad. And a Marowak I can't stay in with because it's essentially going to get clapped by the Smackdowns. So, I'm going to come in with my Drapion. I'm going to play this out, get a couple crunches off. I'm going to go down. I know I'm going to. There's no reason to. But I get a shield, which is nice. And the opponent's got a bunch of energy from their Smackdowns. So I'm going to decide to come in with my Marowak and try and farm this down. I figure I'm going to shield at least once here. Twice if I have to. This is probably an X Scissor bait, but I got a shield in case it's a Rock Slide. And it's an X Scissor bait, go figure. And the opponent is not going to be able to get to another move because I almost take them out and Zweilous comes and snipes them. And Zweilous is amazing. But they've got Frost Blast. And they've also got Beedrill. Now, I make a crucial decision here to save the shield. I could have shielded, gone for a Dark Pulse, but then they would have outpaced me to another Avalanche and it would have been pointless. So instead I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get the get some more farm on my Alolan Marowak, almost take the opponent out, let them get very close to a move so that they want to shield, and they do shield. And they throw right away, which lets me sneak an entire Fire Spin through, which is crucial here, because now I'm going to have enough energy after taking this Frost Blast out to come in and just destroy this Beedrill's whole face. Shadow Bone's going to come out, and it's going to do so much damage that it's worthy of this button being pressed right now. Because we love watching health bars disappear. Look at those Fire Spins, dude. They do so much damage. And then one Fire Spin from the Alolan Marowak would have been enough to take out Frost Blast, and that is also a good game. Still well played, but Marowak is just... it core breaks, and there's so many people running things like the Scizor lead, things that are weak to fire in the lead. I'll take it all day. Now this person's staying in, which immediately tells me they're probably running a Wormadam in the back or some other Bug Steel type, so I have to shield this. I feel like I probably shouldn't have in hindsight, but once again, I want to keep my Marowak healthy in case there's something in the back that I need it for. Now they come in with an Azumarill, and I'm like, shoot, I really can't bring in anything against Azumarill here. I come in with my Drapion, really hoping that I'm going to be able to make something happen here. And there's the Bug Steel that I was talking about. Here's Wormadam. Now, I know that my Drapion can beat this thing because it resists the confusion damage. But that also leaves Zweilous wide open if I have to shield, which unfortunately I think I might need to. And in the end, I decide to shield against this thing, thinking that I'm going to be able to get a Sludge Bomb or something off against the Azumarill. It was a mistake. So... what I should have done here is probably no shielded, farm down with Alolan Marowak, and use that energy to pressure the Azumarill, because now the opponent has 2 shields for their Azumarill, and all they have to do is go through my Marowak and my Zweilous, and this is very easily a good game for me to lose in. So, yep, they save 2 shields, and they're going to be able to get to the move. I didn't think that they had that much energy, but they did, and I'm hoping, okay, maybe the Play Rough doesn't KO, but nope, Play Rough KOs. That's going to seal the fate, put the nail in the coffin, so to speak. No coffins on this team, though, but I am just kind of screwed here. What my hope is here is that I can get some Bone Club baits off. Maybe they think I'm going to hit him with a Shadow Bone, and then I have to use my Zweilous as a sack swap. It gets one shot by Play Rough, so I have to use that to my advantage here. Didn't catch this time, unfortunately, but they hit me with a Play Rough, which is going to leave me very low, and at this point, I'm going to try and come in with Zweilous. Maybe get the Body Slam off before they get to the Play Rough, but I'm also not able to get there. One turn too late. Opponent's going to get to a Play Rough. Does it KO? Yeah, it does. Ow! And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get to a second Bone Club in time, and that opponent is going to take that. Tragic loss because it was just... it seemed so easy when you saw the Scizor lead stay in. But they played it very well. They managed everything very well. So, another Dusclops in the lead. This one has Return and Ice Punch most likely, so I'm not worried about it as much against my Marowak. But I do want to draw out a potential thing that, you know, maybe I don't know. I mean, it might beat. I don't know. I don't really know. I drew out a Umbreon. Like, I don't really know what I was expecting here, but it definitely wasn't an Umbreon safe swap, especially not one with Psychic like this one probably has. If I remember, there's a lot of Psychic Umbreons rolling around, and just so you know, everyone, Psychic Umbreon is not a counter swap to Drapion at all. At all. So Sludge Bombs are just going to destroy this Umbreon's entire Vod of hopes and dreams. Gonna just win switch here. Gonna be able to take this Umbreon to the cleaners and back. Like, even if they decide to start shielding, like, this Drapion outpaces them so badly that it really doesn't matter. And then Marowak is just the GOAT. That's it. Marowak's the GOAT. That's all you had to know. Now, they do make a really amazing catch here, which I'm trying to get better at not getting hit by, but the opponent just goes tink. They do such a good job of catching on their Dusclops here, absorbing the damage from that Sludge Bomb, keeping their poor little Umbreon alive. Little do they know I've also got a Zweilous in the back just waiting for it. And they do load up on a ton of energy. My Drapion is now ready to go down. It has done its job. It has gotten me a huge advantage by taking out, essentially, almost 2/3 of their team. And my Zweilous is going to come in and use one shield, and it's going to farm down this Dusclops. And the reason why I'm shielding the Ice Punch here is because if their best answer to my Drapion was a Psychic Umbreon, I guarantee you that they don't have another answer to my Zweilous in the back, and that's what I'm hoping for here. So it's sort of not... I probably would have brought in the Nidoqueen. Maybe they fat-fingered by accident. Again, something I've done plenty before. Maybe they brought in the wrong Pokemon by accident. But Body Slam is going to draw the shield, and then Alolan Marowak is just enough to hard counter this thing. Now, I was trying to catch a Poison Fang, and I realized I messed up. And I'm like, I can't shield this. Earth Power. Goodbye, GOAT. I knew you so well. I'm so sorry to have sacrificed you like this, but it was for the greater good, I promise. So, Marowak goes down in a heap on the floor, and the Nidoqueen, well, I thought was at a Poison Fang, is not able to get to the Poison Fang, and at this point, I'm no shielding because I know it's a Psychic Umbreon, and they can suck it. Foul Play does not do much damage. I can still shield this up, but I'm going to get to this Body Slam before they get to another move. And I think it was a CMP tie, but it's okay. That's a good game. Well played. Feels kind of bad to say well played after I talked kind of trash on the Umbreon, but I mean, Psychic Umbreon's still really good, especially with all the poison types, so like, it's still good to run, but I definitely would never run it as a safe swap. Oh, this is a terrible lead. Okay, so I've got to make something happen here. I feel like that I could have played this differently. I think the way to play this out is just go straight Drapion and try to make some magic happen later. The Shadow Bones from Shadow and Marowak really hurt a lot over time. Like, if you hit it with a couple, it's got to start shielding after like the first one. So I stay in because I expect the Azumarill to have Play Rough Ice Beam, which it does. Otherwise, it would have gone for the Hydro Pump. And honestly, most of the ones in this meta, except for mine, of course, have it. So I run Hydro Pump on mine. It just feels like a better move to me. Ice Beam doesn't really seem like it has any targets anymore in this meta. I'd just rather run Play Rough Hydro Pump personally. But I'm essentially playing this lead out to try and get some farm on my Drapion, hoping that maybe what they've got in the back is not going to be able to tangle with Zweilous, because they're, you know, got a Fairy in the lead. Maybe they're weak to Zweilous in the back, which is typically what happens. Opponent is going to get farmed all the way down here, and they're going to come in with the Wormadam, which is not an answer to Drapion at all, or Zweilous for that matter. I'm thinking maybe they're running double Bug Steel, so, you know, Azu is really a good lead for that. Just because it has the ability to deal with the fire types just like ours, that hard wall or hard counter the Bug Steels. And then there's the other Bug Steel. Look at Scizor. Scizor's here. Yay, Scizor is here. So I'm going to try, and I'm going to get the crunches off on this thing, knowing that my Zweilous can probably handle this game as long as I leave it a shield to deal with the Wormadam and its bug bites. Now, there was some visual lag there. They were definitely getting fast moves through. They just happened all at once, apparently. Opponent throws, and they get the X-Scissor, but because I had just gotten to the crunch, it doesn't take me out. X-Scissor is not... I would run Iron Head in this meta, to be honest. You see a Fairy type, and you're just walled. I think you'd have to use the Fairy type. So with a shield advantage, coming in with my Zweilous, I have to shield this X-Scissor because it would do super effective damage to Zweilous, but I have to leave a shield for my Wormadam because a Bug Bite would KO it. But my opponent gets to the X-Scissor, and I have to be like, you know what? There's no way this one-shot, so I got to tank it. X-Scissor does a lot of damage, but almost takes me out. But opponent comes in with the Wormadam, and I'm going to be able to get the 2 body slams, and that's going to be enough to take out this Wormadam quite easily. Even if they throw the Bug Buzz at me, I can shield it, body slam them, or farm them down, and then take out the Scissor quite nicely here. So that is going to be a good game here. Very well played to my opponent. Double Bug Steel is a strong team, but just cannot handle the sheer might of Zweilous. So this body slam is going to get taken by the Scizor here. That is going to, or not the Scizor, the Wormadam, and then the Scizor comes in with like no health left, gets KO'd by the Dragon Breath. And that's a wrap. Good game. So coming into the next battle here, we've got Marowak against Mandibuzz. This is kind of a nightmare lead. It's probably running Air Slash, but it's really not something I want to deal with. So I'm going to swap out into my Drapion and start looking to make the magic happen. Opponent stays in. And they try to catch the Sludge Bomb on their Toxapex, which was a really good play by them, except I was expecting not to throw at 6. I usually throw after 6 because I want to make sure that I'm in the middle of the animation and they're not able to catch. So, kudos to the opponent for trying to make that catch, but just I wouldn't have fallen for it anyway, just because of the way that I play Drapion. I'm always trying to use my skills at move timing and whatnot. So. Which, I mean, I guess I could plug it because I do offer that course on Metafy for move timing. And if that's something that you're looking to get better at, I have a course for move timing. You can find that on my Metafy page, link in the description. Able to, you know, just I can do lessons on move timing, team building, and just general coaching in general. So if that's something you're looking to improve on or anything in general, check me out on Metafy. I'd love to get a chance to work with you there. As well as in Patreon, I've got a Discord that has all of these teams and all of the, you know, meta tips, the analysis, basically everything that has to do with this game PvP wise is in that Discord, usually long before it even hits YouTube. So another great place, a great community to come check out if you are looking to fit that into the budget at all. Would appreciate having anyone in there, because you know what, all we don't want to do is get better to go battle against. A great place to do it. Most of my patrons are amazing people. So anyway, Wormadam is going to come in and they're just going to get farmed down by the goat. Look at this. Not even, nope, don't even care. It's a Bug Buzz or an Iron Head. I don't care. It's resisted and I don't even care. It's fine. Because this is where Marowak is going to get its use. And because that Mandibuzz is so low on health and it's running Air Slash, I can go for Shadow Bone and then I can start baiting with Bone Club if they don't shield. If they do shield, great. Because Zweilous will come in and deal with it anyway. Resisted Shadow Bones do plenty of damage. And because now a Shadow Bone would KO, I can go for Bone Clubs and get the shield. Which I do. And then another one is going to hopefully come through. No, we're going to get lagged and I'm going to get farmed down anyway. So, yay! I love lag. But the opponent is so low that one shield and a Zweilous is all I need to finish off this Mandibuzz. And I don't even need to shield this because I know it wouldn't KO. So, see you later, Sergeant Bird. Hardly knew you. Gonna shield this up just in case though, and then Mandibuzz is gonna go down to the Dragon Breath, and that is a good game. Coming into this final match here with Marowak against a Salazzle, the Spice Meter. Dude, I love Salazzle. I low-key want to run a Salazzle. So they come in with a Lone Raticate. I know that I have to essentially keep my... I really should have kept my Zweilous for this, but honestly, I didn't really know if it was a good idea to bring my Drapion, because I don't really know Raticate. This Purified Raticate, I don't know these matchups, so I figured, you know, I'll just bring in Zweilous because there's a chance that the Salazzle has Dragon Pulse, and I'd rather not play that game, so... I know that in worst case scenario, all I have to do is farm this down with Marowak and start slinging Bone Clubs at the Salazzle, and it kind of just falls over. Because it's fire and poison, and the thing is so frail that a Bone Club would probably do like 90% of its HP. Actually, you know what? I'm going to find that out right now. So, Zweilous, I do need to maintain Switch, so I'm putting down both shields here in order to do that. I'm down 0 to 1 shields, and it feels really bad against something like Salazzle, but I'm willing to just take that risk, because look at how much damage these things do. Like, they're going to have to shield the Body Slam. There's no way Salazzle's going to be able to take care of this. So, Marowak, Alolan, Salazzle. Alright, we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. A Bone Club does 71.9% to the poor little Salazzle. So I'm going to come with my Marowak here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to whittle down this Toxapex as much as I can, but I try to catch the brine there, and it looks like I did, which is great. I wanted to catch the brine there because I feel like having my Marowak alive is going to be more beneficial than anything. If I can get this Toxapex down to a point where it's not going to be able to hit me with a brine, I can go back to back on the bone clubs and potentially take it out that way. But I know that Drapion also just has a really good matchup against it in general, especially when it gets defense drops like that. So I'm going to no shield once again, and I'm going to, I guess I can't shield because I don't have any left, but anyway. Of course I'm going to no shield, I can't. I'm going to over farm with some crunches here, and what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to leave myself within one of a crunch here. Could have just gone straight up to 2 crunches, but I kind of wanted to get there before they got to a move. But able to get to this last crunch. This is going to force the shield off the Toxapex or take them out, and that's going to allow me to come in with my Marowak. Now they shield, and I switch immediately, and I'm going to try to go for a Bone Club combo play, but my opponent reads me like a book. And they swap in their Salazzle to catch the move. And they just, a fantastic job by my opponent. But because Toxapex is so small, and its attack stat, I'm going to be able to get to this Bone Club, and or even a Shadow Bone, and take it out. But I am going to go for the Bone Club just for the for sure thing here. I don't want to let them get to another Brine because that would be a disaster. So Brine is going to, or not Brine, Bone Club is going to take out the Toxapex, and that is going to take it, and that is a good game. And that's going to be 2 back-to-back 4-1 sets that got me up into the 2600 elo range, I believe. And even then, since then, I'm almost up to 2700 again. And hopefully, I mean, I'm taking it slow, not by choice. I just haven't had a great time this season because the open leagues are terrible. It's just a crapshoot everywhere. But anyway, that's a great team for me. This is probably one of my favorite teams in Hollow Link Up, to be completely honest. Like, Zweilous is just so much fun, and Marowak is just Marowak. It's great. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.